What's some doing playing that game? Guys, I like Runeterra. I'm very excited for the new cards to come out. And I like playing in tournaments. I guess I'm just like, I don't know, I feel like I've already messed around with a lot of the card pool, and like ladder feels just kind of unsatisfying and objectiveless for me. That's most of it. It's like, it just feels like there's not enough I can do with it. That's the biggest thing. So here's the Fiora Shen mirror. The Fiora Shen mirror is pretty interesting. A lot of it just comes down to like playing for maximum raw value. Like having Concerted Strike is kind of gonna be king here. Then I can be very good, but for the most part, you want to be able to stick a River Shaper and have it good. I don't think I can keep Cythria, unfortunately. I think I need to keep Sharp Sight and then try to find some kind of early unit. And it doesn't have to be turn 1 or 2. By early, I just mean like turn 3 or 4. You know, like River Shaper or Fiora, or even maybe just an open Shen. You know, there's a few considerations. But the biggest thing is just the fact that Sharp Sight is kind of a keep because it's a very powerful combo trick that will always represent a threat and punish people for not respecting that. I'm keeping Sharp Sight, and we really want to hit an early thing. So that means even though in a slightly different hand we could have kept maybe Cythria or Concerted Strike, we have to kick a little bit more aggressively there. So he's got the River Shaper when we don't. And he definitely might have the ability to protect it here. He's at 3 mana, which doesn't give him too much. I mean, if I play Fiora, then we can basically just stop anything. So I think there's no real reason not to play Fiora here. It's like, if he attacks and blocks and Sharp Sights, then we Sharp Sight. And of course, like, it's just with spells, with these kind of combat trick spells, it's kind of he who blinks first loses is the single biggest thing. So playing Shen here is pretty great, especially because, you know, the Fiora herself can be a bit of a win con here. Giving him this one action can allow him to Brightsteel Protector his River Shaper, which is actually pretty nasty, because if my Fiora Shen are attacking, that means his River Shaper is basically getting the guaranteed barrier block strike, right? And that's pretty awkward. However, I think it kind of has to be worth it overall. Like, this, it's such a threat if he doesn't have it, and we're not really tapping ourselves under like mana for tricks. Like, we still have, like, we don't have Concerted Strike anymore, but we probably weren't going to use that anyway, and we still have our 2 relevant options here. So Brightsteel is a bit awkward here. If he has it in hand, he has to play it right now. The fact that he's not snapping it feels very good for me. What's going on here? So this is like a repost. Oh, my game's lagging out. What the hell? Repost single combat. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm like, I feel like my game client's like almost crashing. I'm like skipping frames here like crazy. That's super awkward. It's a pretty good play. Like, those 2 cards together is a little nasty. There's not really a ton I can do about that. Like, I can kill the River Shaper here by single combating the Caretaker into it. And I think I have to do that. He will get to draw 2 cards, and I lose my attack. And that does feel very bad. But I keep the Shen, and that's really important. I think this is a forced play. Like, I have no choice but to do this while he's tapped out. The River Shaper does die. And, like, there's kind of nothing else that matters. But it really sucks. Like, River Shaper is such a powerhouse in this matchup. The fact that he drew 1 and we didn't puts us a bit behind. I don't know. I don't want to be like a salty bitch complaining about RNG, because I know I just went on a rant about the other series, and I'm just mentioning we're behind because we don't have River Shaper. There's a fine line between being able to like analyze and talk about something and actually, like, you know, complaining. I mean, it's not even a big deal. It's like, if we have Brightsteel and he doesn't, we could just win the game on turn 9. I'm just saying I wish I had a River Shaper here.
The balance requires a watchful eye.
Okay. So, obviously, you know, we're gonna just burn mana here. Little bit awkward burning 2 mana, but not the end of the world. He's not doing a ton with this attack. And there's kind of fairly little reason he would pass here. Like, there's no engine I could be trying to protect here by passing. There's a call that I could have roped more so that maybe he has a chance of skipping the attack thinking we want to develop a River Shaper or something weird like that. But that's, you know, that's kind of silly. So forcibly burns 2 mana, not the end of the world. We can play Cythria here, have a pretty potent attack both ways. There's not really a big reason to keep the mana up outside of this. So Cythria here. The scariest thing that could happen this game is basically, I mean, he could have Brightsteel too. He's running 2 Brightsteels, so it's gonna be better, you know, having higher odds of hitting that in the mirror. The scariest thing that could happen this game is just my board, like him having a way to kill my entire board and me not having efficient enough ways to protect the board. And what that can lead to is my Brightsteel formation coming down and not really having a board to be able to close out the game afterwards, right? Which I don't want. Also, we have to consider that we're both running Notify and Deny. This is a pretty big brain match for the most part. There's a lot going on.
Honor dictates both our actions.
Does the barrier there. Makes my attack feel, you know, definitely more awkward. He could have like a decent amount of things that feel like they punish me in some way, especially since he's at 5 mana. Now he's got like 2-3 attack units, so it's not, I mean, he could Concerted Strike my Cythria. That really wouldn't be so good. I could see a weird skip on this attack, just because we have less mana than him. The fact that he's got the 5 means he could be on like second repost. Second repost could be kind of nasty, but even then, like, he has the ability to kill our Shen. It's really, I think, mostly second repost that punishes me out here. I actually think this is a little weird. I think there's not enough of a reason to attack here. Just because, like, in Demacia Mirrors, the health pressure doesn't really matter. Yeah, he could pass here. That's fine. Like, Demacia Mirrors are very rarely actually won by health. It's pretty much just an outgrind of resources and who gets to, like, stick the board resources first. And usually in Demacia Mirrors, like, we don't want to give him value on tricks, right? When he has like more mana, when he's threatening to burn mana, and he just drew like 2 extra spells off of the River Shaper as well. Okay, so we got the single combat here. The one awkwardness is like single combat basically can make it like less efficient of a trade. Like he could have done the same thing either way and his Shen would have only lost a bit of health. What I can do if I really want to is Sharp Sight. I think a common best case scenario is we both just Sharp Sight each other though, which I wouldn't mind if it just like forces it both ways. Like if he doesn't have a Sharp, I think this is probably the best Sharp Sight we're getting. Let's go ahead and do this. So the one thing about not attacking there is if he had single combat, he wouldn't have been able to react to the Cythria right away. And that means like the Shen getting the, you know, fearsome and +1/+1 means like his Shen would have had to block it as well in addition to doing that, but it still would have ended the same exact way. I think we're still just doing nothing here, right? I mean, pretty much. We do have a bit of an ability to protect the Shen here. He could like open attack with Bird, I guess. I don't know. I can attack there. I think the kind of the best case scenario out of attacking there is he kills the Shen with Brightsteel instead of killing it with Bird. But we went single combat for Sharp Sight. And he doesn't want to attack with Shen here, which is really important. Like we have a lot of mana, we have a lot of combat tricks. So even if he has ways of protecting his Shen, he doesn't know we don't have ways of like, you know, re-killing the Shen with the Cythria block, which is nice. I do think it's simply too aggressive to try to do like a weird concerted here. He also could have the one of Relentless Pursuit as well, which I have to watch out for. I think I'll play the Swifting Lancer, and then if he taps a lot of mana, then I could even try playing my Relentless Pursuit this turn. We'll develop this. We'll also note that he's the one attacking on turn 9, which means if we both play Brightsteel Protection, it's going to be on his attack turn. Which is better for me, by the way. Because I get it on defense, he gets it on offense. We barrier the board, the barrier is just straight down, and then my open attack into his board is full barrier, and he doesn't have the barriers anymore, right? So the one thing is like keeping up deny for the concerted. Just because he can't nopeify the deny, he's easily enabling the deny itself. We could have passed there and forced him to play something first. That definitely might have been a bit better. But his hand is pretty spell heavy. It's a pretty big risk if he doesn't play something first. And the only thing I could have done there in response to that is like, you know, take a concerted strike or a deny. And the concerted strike is just killing the Shen anyway, which might be dying to the Swiftwing Lancer. Yeah, not passing there definitely lowered our odds a bit. It was safer to pass there first. Just because, like, we could have at least tried to do something with the deny. Here we don't have as much. I mean, we want the ability to try to kill formation with concerted, and I think we save it for that. I think the matchup is truly literally just like sticking formation and killing theirs. So like how this could work is because I saved my concerted and deny. He plays Brightsteel, I block with my Brightsteel barrier. Hopefully my board doesn't get destroyed this turn. And then we try to kill his with concerted plus deny on the next turn. Like that at least has a chance of working. So, I mean, I can attack here, threaten the Shen, and pretty much anything he could play to protect the Shen, we could counter it. If it's a sharp sight, it's not even threatening the Lancer. So, yeah, the attack here and the threaten the Shen is really nice, I think. Looks great. No reason to do anything crazy. Repost is kind of like the most obnoxious thing here, but we can still answer it. Like, Repost would trade for concerted at that point, which is fine. Okay. So, I could also Relentless Pursuit here. He could nopeify it if he really wants to, and I could deny that if I really, really, really wanted to. And, like, it's a way of potentially killing the Cythria, but because I've got Brightsteel, and he might not, like, trading this down is just really dumb. I think this is kind of the easiest pass ever. Like, playing concerted here when he could just deny it. I really want to be able to deny his deny. I think it's quite important. So it looks like just a Brightsteel dick measuring contest is about to happen. He Brightsteals 3 units. I Brightsteel 3 units. And we just kind of sit there. Which is pretty funny. If we're both on Pursuit and I can Pursuit before he does, I actually get a big advantage. So if that happens, if he Brightsteals and then I Brightsteel and then he attacks and we block, I think I should then Pursuit and then try to get the barrier value before he can Pursuit. Whoever pursuits first literally wins that exchange there, which is, again, really funny. It's a terribly stupid matchup. The one thing is, of course, he could have one of his nopefies, which would kind of suck. And he's not attacking here. There's no reason for him to attack here. It would just, you know, play into my Pursuit for literally no reason. So it's a pretty big deal. We've saved concerted and deny. Again, this matchup is literally just about shoving your fucking big dick Brightsteel and not letting them get theirs. Like that's kind of it, right? That's the entire matchup. So it's just like we're open attacking with these. We could develop wider into this attack. The reason I'm kind of like I almost want to open attack is because he could have the second Brightsteel, which could actually sort of fuck me. Between concerted, deny, 9 mana, 4 mana Shen, and the Brightsteels left to right, I could kill both Brightsteels, but not after the barrier. I think open attacking is safer, because I think if he doesn't have the second Brightsteel, we win. There's a consideration to try to play Shen into this attack, but I think it's pretty dumb. Because, like, if he taps under the Brightsteel, then I can easily just, like, Shen and Pursuit at that point, I think. Like, I think I have no problem doing that. Okay, so burning our barrier here. I think that's perfectly fine. Yeah, sure. See what he does first. And Laurent Protege might be great here. Could just finish off that little one. So if he's got the second Brightsteel formation, he kind of has to drop it now. before giving us another opportunity to do anything else. And if he doesn't drop it, then we immediately know he doesn't have it, and we can move in aggressively, which is really important. I think I'm gonna want Pursuit and Deny this turn. So that's 7 mana, because I need Deny on his Deny or Notify. And if I do it now, if he has both Deny and Notify, he stops me. So I want to do it next action. 7 mana plus, you know, we've got 13 means we have 6 to spend. And what that means is between Shen and the other Brightsteel, I think our Shen should be able to get the buff. Killing the Cytheria is pretty important. Being able to kill the Cytheria might be a little too huge. Oh, this is weird. This only gets punished by literally Deny plus Notify. And if he has Deny and Notify, the thing is, Notify always happens on the Pursuit. And if he denies this, then he doesn't deny Concerted. So it's better for me doing it like this. I have to do it now before I spend mana on the other units. Because if it happens like that, Deny, Notify, Concerted, I have to know before so I can Concerted on the same turn. It's too important. And now, he doesn't have the other Deny, I think. But he could actually be really smart. He could actually totally have the other Deny. And I think I have to just Concerted now and kill his Brightsteel. I think that literally needs to happen. If he has the Deny, he could definitely have Deny here. He could have something like a Sharp Sight, could be really scary as well. But I think we got him here. And he's going down to like 3 health as well, which, again, health doesn't really matter that much in this matchup, but it certainly can. Which I think we played this exactly how we needed to. I think it was very important we didn't use the Concerted before. And I think we had to play Relentless Pursuit exactly when we did. We couldn't have waited any longer to do anything with that Relentless Pursuit. Because if we had, we lose 2 Notify plus Deny hands. He top decks the second formation. What? What? Excuse me? So he's gonna try to kill my Challenger. And of course the Challenger is kind of the most important thing here. We're just gonna take a lot of damage here, I think. And that's okay. I think we just go down to super low HP here. He should always challenge the bird here. Whoa. Yeah, the Shen's flipping. Does that make a difference though? And we just sacrifice our Laurent Bladekeeper as a tribute. I was thinking about killing the Fiora last turn instead of the Cytheria. I think killing the Cytheria had to be better, but there was an argument to kill the Fiora with the Lancer instead. And I don't know. I feel like it's probably worth saving Shen here. Yeah, he's killing Lancer. And of course, I'm always saving the Lancer. Because that's how we're killing his card. So we Spirit's Refuge this. We're not healing off of this, but it doesn't matter that we're not healing.
Balance favors you.
And with our own Shen buff, on our next attack, we'll be able to kill his Brightsteel on our open attack with the same Lancer. So we do it like this just to stay alive. We just have to sacrifice this. I guess I could go Brightsteel into Shen. I wonder if that makes us vulnerable to anything weird. I can't really think of anything weird. So now I have to position this in the right way. I need to open attack and then Shen goes on the right side. He doesn't have the other formation and I drew Protector, so I guess I can develop in here. But if I do this immediately, I'll get the buff and his thing will die. None of my other units will get the buffs fast enough, which means we won't be able to kill any of his other units. If he drew Brightsteel Protector too, I need to open attack. So I have no choice but to open attack. I truly, truly do not. Which is a little sad. But what it means is that the Laurent won't be able to kill something here. We want to do it like this, because then his Fiora will have to die. I think we're forced into open attacking here, because if he top decked Brightsteel Protector, then we literally lose the game by not open attacking here.
Sharp blade, sharp mind.
Okay, so he didn't draw a spell that saves his card, which is really important. We forced this card to die. We had to drag the Shen. If we drag the Fiora, his Shen can block our Shen and stay alive. If he open attacks here, he doesn't really have Fearsome. And River Shaper's not doing a ton. Okay.
They would fall by my blade.
And we've got the Brightsteel Protector, which is really great. He's going to make a bunch of things fearsome. Whatever we barrier wants to... What are we even blocking with this barrier thing? I mean, his Shen gives it +3 attack. So his Fiora's going to have 6 attack and 7 with the Cythria. So I guess we protect our Shen? But Shen almost doesn't even matter. Do we protect Swiftwing Lancer? If Lancer dies, I get another unit. Do I protect Protege? Because then he's a fearsome blocker. Do fearsome blockers matter? I guess I protect Shen here. I don't know. If he off the River Shaper's gonna have a guaranteed draw here. If he draws something that kills my Brightsteel Protector, that can lose me the game. And that could be a single combat if I let it take damage. The Protector, I want to be able to block the Cythria. He's gonna drag. He only has 1 drag. The Cythria needs to get blocked and die. So it's safer to do this, I think.
Selflessness, heavy burdens.
It's possible doing it on the Shen is better. It's pretty close at that point. But he's like really out of resources here. And the thing is, the Shen doesn't really do that much. It's weird to think about, because it's like, well, Shen gives attack to the units, but that's not really what ends up mattering here. It's just outgrind. It's just, you know, being able to make sure my units are killing off his value units. If the Cythria attacks here, it's like he is losing either Cythria or Fiora there, and we get to choose. Well, he gets to choose, I guess, because he chooses which one to barrier. But, I mean, the other one will die, and that's going to be a really big consequence for him. And the fact that he has no hand and we have a hand is pretty nice. So we can just block something completely inconsequential. Laurent's health here can't matter. And we can just use this for free. And he will draw a card off of this. And it's because of this card draw that makes me a little bit worried. I do have the deny, so it's like, it's kind of the same thing either way. It didn't matter what we barriered there. It's a funny draw. It didn't, like, obviously it's Teehee, we drew Sergeant. It doesn't matter that we drew Sergeant, but it is very funny that it just happened. Like, yeah, it's for Demacia. It's hilarious. It's not actually helping us here at all. It just kind of looks like it is. I mean, it's funny, like I said. So this is a pretty long, drawn-out first game. That's how the Fiora Shen mirror is honestly typically going to go.
Everything as it should be.
I feel like we played that pretty well overall. We literally drew 1 Brightsteel formation and he drew 2, and we still won. And that's fucking crazy. And he drew the River Shaper too. That's kind of insane that that just happened.